There is a mark on the inside of my left wrist. A small, ugly bloom of purple and yellow where the skin is thin, already tender to the touch. It wasn't my husband. Stephen has never laid a hand on me. His damage is clean, precise, filed away under assets and liabilities. He hurts you with spreadsheets, with silence, with a perfectly reasonable explanation for why your feelings are not a sound investment. This mark is sloppy. It's from Connor. It's an error. A piece of data that doesn't fit the narrative. It is 2:32 in the afternoon. I am sitting in my SUV in the parking lot of a high-end grocery store, the kind where the classical music is piped just a little too loud. The engine is off. The silence in the car is thick, broken only by the rhythmic click-clack of a loose shopping cart wheel in the wind. A woman struggles with a paper bag in my rearview mirror, her face tight with frustration. I should be back at the office. I should be reviewing the color proofs for the new client pitch. I should be anywhere but here, staring at this bruise. It's physical evidence. I hate physical evidence. It's messy. It's human. My phone buzzes on the console, an aggressive, electronic sound in the quiet. A message from Stephen. Not a text, but a notification from our shared project management software. A sterile, blue and white interface. He asks where I am. He reminds me that the quarterly invoices must be signed by 3. He isn't worried. He isn't suspicious. He's just processing a task. He is always precise. His entire life is a checklist, and I am an item on it. I type back that I am stuck in traffic on the expressway. The lie is instant. Automatic. I've been lying for 8 months. Little lies. Big lies. Lies of omission. Lies of commission. It's become a kind of second language. But this lie feels different. Heavier. Because it's the first lie I've told since I realized I was never the one in control. Today, the illusion shattered. Today, I finally understood that Connor, the man I risked my entire life for, does not love me. He loves what I can do for him. I haven't just been sleeping with him. I've been stealing for him. This is the part that makes my stomach clench. Not the sex, the theft. The deliberate, calculated keystrokes. It started small. An inflated invoice for landscape consultation. A duplicated expense report for site materials. I am the one who handles the client-facing accounts. Stephen handles the corporate books. He trusts me. He doesn't check my work, because my work is always perfect. My perfection was my shield. It was the flaw in his system. He trusts my numbers implicitly. I told myself I was saving him. His business was failing. He had charisma and talent, but no financial sense. He smelled like sawdust and fresh dirt, a complete contrast to Stephen's world of recycled air and unscented soap. I was saving him. I was giving him a chance. I told myself it was noble. I told myself it was love. But the money changed him. Or maybe it just revealed him. The man who used to have dirt under his fingernails now wears a watch that costs more than my car payment. The man who romanticized living small just leased a brand new German sports car. I saw it this afternoon, parked outside the cheap motel we use. The one with the flickering vacancy sign and the permanent smell of bleach. It was silver. It shined. It was parked right next to my own dark SUV, and the contrast was almost comical. My sensible, family-approved vehicle next to his brand new trophy. My money. My risk. My name on the fake invoices. His car. When I told him it was over, inside that stuffy, dim room, he didn't beg. He didn't plead. He laughed. He asked if I was kidding. He told me he was just getting started, that he needed more. That I owed him. I said no. That's when he grabbed me. Not in passion. In pure, transactional rage. He grabbed my wrist, his fingers digging in, and told me I wouldn't just walk away. Connor didn't get angry today because I was leaving him. He got angry because I was turning off the tap. The bruise on my wrist isn't a mark of passion. It's a business expense. A late fee. My phone buzzes again. Stephen. He is asking if I will be home in time for the dinner reservation. The one I was supposed to make. I close my eyes, and I can see the reservation in our shared calendar. 6:30 p.m. Family dinner. Another checklist item. I look at the bruise, this sloppy, unprofessional mark. Then I look at my reflection in the dark screen of my phone. My perfect, controlled face. I realize I am not stuck in traffic. I am stuck. And for the first time, I understand that I am not the one holding the strings. I am just the one who is going to get caught. You have to understand Stephen. Living with Stephen is not just living in a museum. It's like living in a mausoleum. It is beautiful, perfectly curated, and absolutely cold. Our home smells of nothing, just the faint, sterile scent of the industrial-grade cleaners the housekeeper uses every Tuesday and Friday. The silence is what I hate the most. It isn't peaceful. It's the silence of a perfectly balanced equation, the low, electronic hum of the central server room where Stephen manages our lives. Our home doesn't have junk drawers. It doesn't have stacks of mail on the counter. Stephen optimized the clutter out of our lives years ago. I remember, maybe 6 months ago, I bought a painting. An abstract piece from a small gallery, full of messy, chaotic reds and yellows. It was the first impulsive purchase I'd made in a decade. I hung it in the entryway. When Stephen came home, he stood in front of it for a full minute. He didn't say he hated it. He just noted that the frame was not precisely level with the ceiling molding. The next day, he had it moved to the guest bathroom. The one nobody ever uses. He explained to me, calmly, that it was emotionally loud and clashed with the neutral palette of our main living space. He didn't say it was ugly. He said it was inefficient. Our marriage is a brand. Claire and Stephen Design. We are a very successful, very profitable, very hollow brand. At home, we are just partners. We don't argue, we deconflict. Our last date night was 2 weeks ago, at a restaurant he chose because it was quiet enough for us to review our retirement portfolios. He put his hand over mine on the starched white tablecloth, and for half a second, my breath caught. Then he just used his other hand to tap the screen of his tablet, drawing my attention to a specific line item. He told me my department's profit margins were excellent. He didn't tell me I was beautiful. And then Connor came into the picture. He was a subcontractor on the Miller project. He walked onto the site in dusty boots, smelling like sawdust and sweat. He looked at my sterile, perfect designs for the garden, and he told me I was afraid of getting my hands dirty. He said my designs had no life. He was rude. He was unprofessional. And he was right. The affair was predictable. The bored wife. The handsome laborer. I know that. But the stealing, that was different. That wasn't a cliché. That was mine. Connor's business was failing. He was all passion and no plan. I saw the stacks of unpaid invoices in his truck. I, the ultimate controller, the perfectionist, was going to fix him. It started so easily. An invoice for topsoil delivery with an extra zero. A site visit fee that never happened. Stephen trusts my numbers. Why wouldn't he? My perfection was my shield. The first time the stolen money hit Connor's account, the relief in his voice was intoxicating. It felt powerful. It wasn't just about fixing him. It was a secret. My secret. In a life shared down to the last cent on a balance sheet, this was the one thing that was not on Stephen's spreadsheet. I was introducing a variable. I was creating chaos in the perfect system. I was so addicted to the disruption, I chose to misinterpret the warning signs. When Connor stopped talking about the soil and started asking about the square footage of our clients' homes, I told myself he was ambitious. When he stopped meeting me at the motel and started suggesting dinners at expensive restaurants, which I paid for, I told myself he deserved it. I wasn't just funding his business. I was funding the illusion that I was desirable, that I was more than just a line item. I was funding my own escape. I finally turned the key. The engine starts, a low, familiar rumble in the grocery store parking lot. The drive to the office is automatic, a commute I've done thousands of times, my body executing the turns while my mind rehearses. I am planning my script. I will walk in, sign the invoices Stephen needs. Then I will go into my office, close the door, and call my lawyer. I will be calm. I will be rational. I am a perfectionist, and I will manage my own divorce perfectly. The affair was a sloppy, chaotic variable. I will now correct the equation. I am back in control. The parking garage at our office building is too empty for 3:15 in the afternoon. The third level, my level, has rows of vacant spaces. I park in my designated spot, number 22. The silence is heavy. When the elevator doors open onto our floor, the wrongness hits me like a physical force. The air is still. Usually, there is the quiet, productive hum of the office. The sound of typing. The soft classical music Stephen pipes through the speakers. Today, there is nothing. Just the high-pitched, electronic hum of the server room. Sarah, our assistant, is at her desk. But she is not working. She is staring at her computer screen, which is dark. She is just staring. Her hands are in her lap. She doesn't look up when the elevator dings. She, a person who schedules her bathroom breaks and coordinates her outfits with our company's brand palette, is paralyzed. This is the first crack in the foundation. I walk down the hall. Stephen's office door is open. He always keeps it closed for, as he calls it, optimal focus. He is at his desk. But he is not working. He is not on his standing desk attachment. He is sitting in his expensive ergonomic chair, the one he researched for a month. His hands are flat on the black desk blotter, palms down, fingers splayed. He is staring at the gray fabric wall of his office. This is the most terrifying thing I have ever seen. Stephen never stops. He optimizes. He analyzes. He does not stare. I stand in the doorway. My voice sounds too loud in the dead air when I tell him I am here for the invoices. He turns his head slowly, as if his neck is heavy. His face is gray, the exact color of the wall he was watching. He tells me I am late. His voice is flat. Dead. I start to apologize, the traffic lie ready on my lips, but he waves a hand. A limp, tired gesture. He says it doesn't matter. This is the second wrong thing. It always matters to Stephen. My heart is pounding. The bruise on my wrist feels like it's burning under my cuff. He knows. He must know. This is his cold, controlled way of dealing with it. He tells me they were here. My blood turns to ice. They? My mind flashes to Connor. Did he do something stupid? Did he try to blackmail me? Did he call Stephen? I ask him, my voice a whisper, if he means Connor. He looks at me, and his expression is unreadable. He asks who Connor is. For a second, I think he's playing with me, torturing me. I clarify. The landscaper. He tells me no. Not the landscaper. He means the FBI. I grip the doorframe. My knees feel weak. The FBI. They found it. They found my theft. The $80,000. My mind races. How? An audit? Did Sarah notice? My perfect system, my careful invoices, my control, it's all gone. I am a common criminal. I'm going to prison. My perfection, my control, it was all an illusion. I ask him. My voice is so quiet I can barely hear it. I ask if it is about the invoices. About the landscape accounts. Stephen looks at me. For the first time in years, he really looks at me. And he laughs. It is not a laugh. It is a dry, awful, rattling sound, like stones in a tin can. He asks what I am talking about. The landscape accounts? He tells me they are not here for my pocket money theft. He's talking about the $2.5 million he moved offshore. He's talking about the fact that our company, our brand, our entire life, is a financial pyramid. And it just collapsed. I am standing in the doorway of his office. The air is thick, unbreathable. The words $2.5 million hang in the sterile, silent air. A financial pyramid. My meticulous, predictable, risk-averse husband. The man who analyzes the cost per ounce of coffee beans. The man who proved, on a spreadsheet, that buying a slightly more expensive car would save us money in long-term maintenance. The man whose entire personality is built on fiscal conservatism and optimized systems. It does not compute. My own theft, the $80,000 I bled out, feels pathetic. It's a rounding error on his crime. It's the messy, emotional act of an amateur. He is the professional. I am still gripping the doorframe. My mind is stuck on my crime. I mention Connor again. I tell him I don't understand. What about my invoices? What about the money I took? He looks at me. And he smiles. It is not a smile. It is an expression of pure, cold victory. It is the most terrifying expression I have ever seen. He tells me, "Oh, Claire." He says my name like he's correcting a child who has just tried, and failed, to lie about eating a cookie. He asks if I really thought he didn't know. He, the man who reconciles the corporate accounts to the cent every single night. He asks if I thought he wouldn't notice $80,000 just vanishing. My breath catches. He knew. He tells me, of course, he knew. He knew from the first inflated invoice, 8 months ago. He let it happen. He tells me he watched me do it. He watched me get sloppy. He watched me fall for the landscaper. He says he even approved the transfers from his end, burying them in larger project costs, making my tracks impossible to find. He was helping me. I realize I wasn't a rogue agent. I was just an employee, following a new set of instructions. He leans forward, his hands still flat on the desk. He explains it to me, slowly, like I am an idiot. He says he lost a massive amount of money on a bad investment 3 years ago. A client's money. Instead of reporting the loss, he covered it. He created the pyramid. He knew, he tells me, that it was only a matter of time. He needed an exit strategy. A fallback. A story. And I, his perfect, reliable, controlling wife, handed it to him on a silver platter. He tells me I am his insurance policy. His get-out-of-jail-free card. He explains that when the agents came this morning, he already had his narrative prepared. His unstable, emotional, unfaithful wife. His partner. He told them he suspected I was embezzling. He told them he thought I was funding a sordid affair. He told them he was just trying to cover for me, trying to fix the damage I caused, until it all fell apart. He tells me my pocket money theft is his perfect alibi. My $80,000 is the proof. It is going to cover his $2.5 million. He tells me I am the one who is going to take the fall. I am the story they will believe. The desperate, cheating wife. I am the one who destroyed everything. He stands there, waiting. He is waiting for me to cry, to scream, to fall apart. He is waiting for the messy, emotional reaction he has always despised and has now finally weaponized. His whole story depends on it. He has just laid out his perfect, logical, airtight case. He is the victim. I am the villain. He smiles, the smile of a man who has just closed a very difficult, very profitable deal. I just stand there. I look at him. The man I have lived with for 15 years. The man whose world is built on optimized systems and predictable outcomes. And he is right. It is a brilliant plan. My affair, my sloppy, emotional theft, it is the perfect story. The unstable, hysterical wife. It is the story he needs. He just doesn't realize I wrote it for him. I found out about the $2.5 million almost a year ago. I am a perfectionist. I am a controller. Did he really think I, his partner, the director of marketing, wouldn't notice? It wasn't one single thing. It was a dozen small discrepancies that a normal person would ignore. A lag in a client payment here, a capital transfer there that didn't align with our projected growth. He was messy. For the first time in his life, Stephen was messy. And I followed the mess. I found the real books. The ones he kept on a separate, encrypted drive, hidden not in our office, but on a server he thought I knew nothing about. I saw the pyramid. I saw the 3-year timeline. I also saw that I was trapped. In Texas, I am his legal partner. His debt is my debt. His crime is my crime. I couldn't just divorce him, I would be implicated as an accomplice. I couldn't go to the police, I would lose everything and still be charged. If I could not escape the sinking ship, I needed a lifeboat. I needed my own narrative. So I created one. I, the perfectionist, had to architect my own perfect, imperfect alibi. I needed a smaller, messier, more emotional crime. Connor wasn't a passionate mistake. He was an asset. I chose him from our subcontractor list because he was failing. Because he was greedy. Because he was exactly the kind of cliché a bored, wealthy wife would fall for. I didn't fall for him. I recruited him. The $80,000 wasn't theft. It was an investment. I didn't steal it. I documented it. I left the breadcrumbs for Stephen. The fake invoices, the motel receipts. I needed him to find them. I knew my husband. I knew his arrogance. I knew he wouldn't just confront me. He would use me. He would see my sloppy little crime as an opportunity to cover his massive, professional one. And now, here we are. He has just walked, confidently and precisely, right into the trap I set for him. He has built his entire defense around the evidence I manufactured. He has already confessed his plan to me. He has already implicated himself. I let go of the doorframe. The numbness is gone. It's replaced by a cold, clean focus. He's still watching me, that smug, victorious look on his face. He's waiting for the tears. He is still standing by his desk, frozen. That smile, the thin, tight line of victory, is gone. It didn't just fade, it collapsed. His face has gone slack, gray, the color of the concrete floor in our garage. He is processing. I can almost hear the gears grinding in his head, trying to find a new variable, a new spreadsheet, a new way out. But there isn't one. His optimized system has encountered a fatal error. He opens his mouth. Closes it. He, the man who always has the data, the man who wins every argument with logic, has no words. He actually reaches for his desk blotter, his fingers spreading flat, as if trying to hold on to something solid as his world dissolves. He looks at me, really looks at me, perhaps for the first time in our marriage. Not as a wife, not as a partner, but as an opponent. He finally sees me. I tell him his mistake was simple. He analyzed my spending, my calendar, my profit margins. But he never analyzed me. He filed me under emotional variable, something to be managed, not understood. He assumed my motivations would be small. Love. Revenge. Boredom. He never considered my motivation would be the same as his, survival. He saw the sloppy affair, but he missed the calculated precision beneath it. I think about the last year. The planning. The nausea I felt every time I had to meet Connor at that motel. The disgust. The fear. I had to force myself to be sloppy. I had to actively suppress my own nature, my own perfectionism, to create a flaw he would believe. I had to perform the role of a hysterical, cheating wife. And he, the genius, the optimizer, believed the performance because it's what he already believed about me. That I was the weaker partner. That I was the liability. I looked down at my wrist, at the sloppy purple bruise Connor left. My one intentional mistake. The single piece of physical, messy evidence I needed to make my role as the emotional victim believable. It served its purpose perfectly. I tell him I am going to go talk to those agents right now. I tell him I am going to offer them a deal. Full immunity for me, in exchange for the man who really ran the pyramid. In exchange for the real books. I walk out of his office. I don't look back. I walk past Sarah, our assistant, who is still staring blankly at her dark screen. She looks up at me, her eyes wide with fear. I give her a small, tight nod. She's just collateral damage. I walk down the hall toward the conference room where the agents are working. I can hear the low murmur of voices. I straighten my cuff, covering the bruise. The costume is no longer needed. I am no longer the liability. I am the asset. The only one. And that's the whole story. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new release. Remember, your support is essential for this channel to keep growing. And now I have to ask, what do you think? Is Claire a hero or the worst villain of the story? She was a victim of a cold, controlling marriage, but she used another human being, Connor, just as coldly as Stephen used her. Does Stephen's massive financial crime make her own actions justified? Or did she just prove she was exactly like her husband, only better at the game? Let me know what you think in the comments.